Manchester United haven't beat Spurs in the last 8 games in all competitions. Ruben Amorim failed on 3 occasions, including a European final, which we'll try not to talk about too much. But United head into this, coincidentally, as strong favourites. 3 wins since Carrick has come in, unbeaten in 7 in the Premier League, and wins over the 2 best teams in the country in the past couple of games. Whereas his counterpart, Thomas Frank, is struggling with domestic form. 3 wins in the last 10 games, but finished 4th in the Champions League spot, which is probably why he's still in his job at the moment. Sam and Shreyas alongside me to pick the bones of this fixture. For me, I'll get the general consensus and feeling from you two lads before I give my opinion on it. But where's your head at, Sam, with this going into? Are we confident? Do you feel like we can take it to him?
I feel more confident than I would have done under Ruben Amorim, I would say. Carrick has sort of put a little bedrock of confidence with the results that he's got so far. Mm-hmm. It's at home, and we seem to be up a bit more up for it at home. The Fulham result, like, we got pegged back, but we went and tried to win the game, and we managed to come out with it. So I think that's positive. So with their form in the league as well, which has been terrible, I think that lends itself to confidence. Like, I'll get into some stats later on, but I think, I'm pretty confident with this. But obviously, when it's United and Spurs, there's always goals, and it's always a bit of a sort of mystery in it, because we've seen games where we've had, like, we were 2-0 up, and then we got paid back by Maddison and Sarr just running through our midfield. We had the challenge of the 2 worst goalkeepers in the league in Forrester and Bayindir trying to outdo each other. And then obviously there was the European final where they were absolutely terrible, but we were apparently even worse. So it's never simple, is it, with Spurs?
No, and even chronologically, Shreyas, no matter what kind of period we're in, whether we are on a bit of a high, whether it is, we've had a decent run in Europa League or it's a different manager, for some reason Spurs just seems to be that game that's a bit, just you don't know why, but I don't know. Would you class them as a bogey team?
The thing is with United, if you look at it quite deeply, there are so many bogey teams now. You look at Palace, you look at Bournemouth, you look at Fulham, for that matter. We seem to drop points against a lot of these teams, but I think this season we've done, much better in comparison to how we have done in previous seasons. We've managed to actually get a good chunk of points against these sort of teams. And with Spurs, this time I feel a bit more confident, actually, because they are in a big mess. And one of the biggest reasons why things are, not really, clicking for them is because they're lacking so much creativity down the middle. They've got pretty much the same profile of midfielder. When you look at their double pivots, whoever they seem to pick, they're basically the same profile. What they struggle with is progressing the ball forward. And even when you would expect them to be better defensively, but even when they're pegged back, they've not really been comfortable. They make so many mistakes at the backside. And even though Romero and Van de Ven do contribute with goals, defensively both of them have been shocking this season. And even Vicario has fell off quite a bit this season. So I think overall as a unit, things just aren't really seeming to click, because the players who they actually brought in to sort of make up for that loss of creativity, players like Xavi Simons coming in, Kolo Muani being that sort of striker who seems to make most out of nothing. They've just not been able to sort of find that sort of chemistry or coordination in the attack or in the midfield. So I think ever since those first 5 to 6 fixtures that they've had, they've been struggling in almost every single game. And one of the things that United right now is very good at is breaking the lines and, creating opportunities. And from what I've seen, especially against Fulham, especially against Arsenal, I think if you look at their midfield and how they play, they are much, much more stronger. Even Fulham's midfield, if you look at how they deployed themselves throughout that full 90, they offer you a lot more threat in comparison to what Spurs right now are able to pull out when you come up against them. So I'm feeling a lot more confident in comparison to how it have usually felt last season.
Yeah, it's a great point you make about the midfield, because I felt the exact same. When they signed Conor Gallagher, I was kind of like, Do you not already have kind of hard?
It doesn't lift. It doesn't lift the ceiling, does it? It doesn't.
No, it kind of. They need, like you mentioned, progression through the lines, which you're absolutely right with Shreyas, but also building up from the back, like like a Zubamendi or someone like that who will take it up the back
A
four.
playmaker.
Just like dictating the game, a bit of a Paul Scholes type, like that kind of player. And again, it's we've banged our heads off the side asking for midfielder after midfielder after midfielder, and I'm sure Tottenham fans must be the same. Not that I want to have many things in common with Tottenham, but they must feel like something, because they're missing the creative players as well. That's so bizarre. Like they've got no Madison and Kulusevski, so then it's like, where's the creativity coming from?
No Kudus as well, like their new signing. He's injured.
Van de Ven will be out as well.
Solanke's out.
I'll update on all that kind of stuff a little bit later.
They've got multiple injuries in that team in a minute, which is worrying.
If you are just joining us, please do. We want to hear all your opinions. We'll get into the comments section very, very shortly about this game. Are you feeling optimistic? Is there a slight worry there? Sorry, and why is that? Let us know. Whilst we're on the topics of midfielders, of course, our interim manager is or was a midfielder. A lot of history involved there, Sam. Michael Carrick, obviously bought from Spurs as a player. So I was looking, only made 75 appearances in all competitions, which is a couple of seasons. I think he was there from 2004, 2006. But interesting, the narrative on both managers, I feel like. With Thomas Frank, I think we can all appreciate kind of the job that he did with Brentford and the fact that, Michael Carrick's never managed in the Premier League before. But then goes to show everything. Timing's everything in football, isn't it? Because look at the way both managers are viewed at the moment. It's night and day, isn't it?
It's the pressure, isn't it? It's the level that you're at now. Obviously, Carrick hasn't managed, but he has managed United, brief period, admittedly, for 3 games previously. But he's also played for the club, so he understands the level of pressure that comes at Manchester United, because he's been a player and he was a very, very successful player for us. Thomas Frank, yes, did absolutely gangbusters at Brentford, did extremely well with a tiny budget and finding these gems of players. It's a different matter, because nobody was expecting Brentford to be qualifying for the Champions League or competing for trophies. Like, nobody was expecting that from him. You go to Spurs, that is the expectation. To get into the Champions League, to push yourself as far as you can for a trophy, and that's what you have to do. And he's had a couple of bad luck thrown against him and injuries and stuff like that, but he's also made some tactical errors that have cost him games and things like that. Whereas Michael Carrick, he had success with Middlesbrough to a point, and then obviously it sort of fell apart later on. But so far, so good at United. So the pressure remains off you if you keep getting results and playing well. So until Michael Carrick has that wobble, that's the way it's going to remain.
Yeah, I wonder whether the fact he's had a playing career at United obviously helps with the pressure and the expectations, because Thomas Frank, I don't know if he was any good as a player. I have absolutely no idea, but I know he's not
played for anybody.
Yeah, he's not played for anyone significant, massive, with lots of pressure. So this is quite literally his first time being through the doors. And also, I think Carrick's time as Solskjaer would have helped as well, seeing kind of his journey at the club and what he went through. I think he would have been prepared for that. But I just find it fascinating. I think both of them, if you're going to throw anything with them, Shreyas, like give him flowers, I think both of them are good tacticians. Like, you've seen it. Maybe Thomas Franks is more of an underdog approach, being able to get a result when it's on the back foot, whereas Carrick has gone pretty much toe to toe with the past couple of teams, the 2 best teams in the country, in Arsenal and Manchester City. How do you see this one playing out tactically? Do you think, because we do seem to perform better without the ball, but we still look decent on it as well. So how do you see this playing out?
I think when it comes, if we look at the game, the thing is, like you mentioned that, his Carrick's time with Oli really helped him in understanding, the demand of that position and what sort of football this club demands. But at the same time, I think he's also understood that he cannot just revert back to type 2 Oli football, that you're just playing, one-touch football on the counter attack when you've not got the ball. Whenever you win it back, you've got 5 seconds to just, kick back on the counter. I think under Carrick, we've seen a better blend as to, how much we are able to look after the ball when we have it, how careful we are when we are playing through the lines. And on top of that, we are quite effective whenever, even if we have 40% possession or 49%, 50% possession, no matter how much we have on the ball, we seem to do quite well whenever
Mhm.
we are trying to progress the ball forward. And at the same time, our press right now is a lot more. I've never seen United press this much or this good.
But it's not just pressing like, so it's not pressing like Jurgen Klopp, like
Exactly.
madmen.
This is
It's
picking your
knowing
right
when.
moments.
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
yeah, setting
picking your
trap.
right moments, then progress, then trying to cut off the channels rather than, just running around every single position, and you leave, gaps in behind.
Yeah.
Because, we have that sort of restraint as well, as to we are not, pressing for the entire 90 and just picking our right moments. It helps out players like Casemiro and Menu a lot, because when you've got that sort of, you could say, confidence that other players will be in their right
Mhm.
positions, when if Casemiro tries to step in into the press, or Menu tries to step in into the press, they know that there will be a little gap left behind. But he knows that Dallo will be in the right position to step into midfield. He knows that in said moments, Lisandro and Maguire both will push up in order to make sure that that gap does not elongate, so that half spaces are left behind for players to move, just drag themselves into. So that is something that I'm being quite impressed by. And at the same time, I think Spurs right now are very desperate. And I think, especially with the kind of manager Thomas Frank is, whenever he's been under pressure, he tries to throw the kitchen sink every single time. So I expect Spurs to come in quite strong. But I think if we just stick to the way we've been playing, considering we're playing at home as well, I think it carries a lot of weight with the way this team has been playing. They know how to make the most of playing at home, of playing at Old Trafford. So I think Spurs will try to get come at us, but I think if they do that, they'll just play right into our hands, because that is, I think this is the best way to play right now.
Mm.
If other teams are actually going to come at you, I think it is the best way for United to move forward.
I suppose it's a lot of it is going to be about who's going to be available and what players are going
Yeah,
to be on the pitch, right, Sam? And I
Yeah.
think the big question is, I think we're all in unison about pretty much 9 players who are probably going to be on the pitch.
Yeah.
However, the big question will come with Benjamin Sesko scoring the winner at Old Trafford against Fulham
Mhm.
in the 90 plus minutes, whatever it was. At that point, I think my pants must have been off, or
Definitely.
slightly coming
Yeah,
on.
definitely.
Do you go with him up top, and why?
Yeah, like like I was a big fan of like starting him after the Fletcher. Obviously, he scored 2 goals
Yeah.
against Burnley,
Burnley.
and
Yeah,
I was like, cool, like let's start him. Like his confidence was running. Obviously, Michael Carrick came in, didn't start him, and we're all kind of looking at it going, really, like you're not starting thing, but it worked because we absolutely battered City. So it's like, all right, like that's fine. He didn't start against Arsenal either. And then didn't start against Fulham, but came off the bench, like you said, and got the winner. So clearly he's got confidence. And I know you spoke about it the other day, basically saying like it's good to take the pressure off him at times because he is a young striker and the expectations and stuff like that, which is great. And not to spoil my team, but I would start him. Like I think it would be good to start him in this kind of game. Um, we've obviously got the injuries with Spurs. I think you could use him to pull them out of their shape because they're probably going to have people in positions where they don't normally play, like they had against City. And I think you could use that to your advantage and use somebody like Sesko to pull them out and
Mm.
move
mm,
the centre backs around to get the space for the likes of Mbumo to get in behind or Cunha, so he could wrap his foot around something and put something in the back of net. So I think he could definitely be useful, but it wouldn't surprise me if he went with the same team that he went against
Yeah. I think if you're
Fulham.
winning games.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. But yeah, personally, I would start him.
Interesting. Would you guys who are watching live or watch this later on, would you start Benjamin Sesko or would you stick with Brian Mbumo up top? That Lucho saying obviously anything can happen, but I feel a lot more confident and better prepared. We have too many clutch players to not win this. Bruno, Mbumo, Cass, Cunha, all clutch. Dave saying looking at the Fulham game, we looked happy to let them have the ball at times so we could counter the space. I can see the same against Spurs. Spurs are a
yeah.
lot better away from home. Yeah, we'll talk about Spurs form in a moment. I've just got a couple of stats that I want to pop on the screen. Hopefully they work this time because last time when I was trying to put on the screen, it was just being an utter, there we go, utter pain in the ass. So Manchester United are winless in their last 6 games against Tottenham Hotspur. Drew 3, lost 3. Their joint longest ever run without a win against them. Also 6 between 1914 and 1921. I think
Was the last win the Ronaldo Cavani? What?
No, it was the
Ten Hag.
2-0 Ten Hag. Yeah, 2-0
Okay.
Ten Hag, I think it was.
Okay.
Tottenham are winless in their last 6 Premier League games, their longest run since their last 7 in 2024-25. However, 5 of Spurs' 7 league wins this season have come away from home. Someone just touched on their away form before.
Yeah.
Bruno Fernandes has more assists than any other Premier League player this season with his 12. Also, his joint best tally in a single campaign. The last Manchester United player to provide more was Antonio Valencia in 2011 and 12. There you have it.
That was just spamming crosses, wasn't it, into the box?
Just what if you can't describe many players just in like 3 words, but Antonio Valencia was just go down the wing in it. Like it was just like
down the wing, cross
down the
wing,
wing, cross. Yeah, that was just his bread and butter, which he was very good at, to be fair to him. But yeah, Bruno Fernandes, again, we'll be looking at him to get a couple of more assists in this game. As for Tottenham, lads, like I mentioned, currently sat in 14th place in the league on 29 points, lost more games than they've won. Thomas Frank mentioned in his presser that Van der Ven, Romero should be available for selection. There was a post again from Romero on Instagram about the ownership.
He's not happy.
Very fiery, very, very fiery, but he's the captain and they haven't got any other centre back, so he's probably going to play. Van der Ven's back from a hamstring injury, and I think Solanke went off injured in the last game as well.
Yeah.
Seems to be fine. So he's going to be available for selection. It kind of goes back to the European final, I suppose, lads. I didn't want to touch on it too much because no one wants to remember this. But you've got them who are, on the brink of relegation. We're on the brink of relegation almost, like 15th, 16th, 17th. We've sacked our manager. They've stuck with Thomas Frank at the moment. And now we're sat in top 4. So it's crazy to think, I suppose, it's not even a question, it's just a point to be made that, within 6 months of football, 8 months of football, whatever it's been, the narrative for both teams is so vastly different. It almost like you're not forgot about that because we'll never forget about the European final. No. But if we get into Champions League football, that will suppress a bit of the pain, Shreyas, I suppose, is what I'm getting at. If we do it this season,
of course, because look, from a broader perspective, I still think that if we would have won the Europa League last season, qualified for Champions League football, I think United's situation would have been worse because
it would have been out by now because knocked us out as every other competition, so it'd definitely be out by now.
But more than that, I think we'd have a lot more injuries than we have right now.
Yeah.
I think because one thing is, even if we would have had more cash, I don't think that we would have had enough players to rotate around. And then
look at the December period in particular, Shreyas.
Exactly.
When everyone went to AFCON. Oh my goodness me. If we was in the Champions League at that point.
Can you imagine that during the Champions League? I think it would have been crushing. And I know that right now we are playing one game a week. And even though we are on a good run, we were on a bad run during that AFCON when Mbeumo was gone, Ahmad was gone, Mazraoui was gone. And I just know that instead of 2 to 3 draws and a loss in that time, then having 2 Champions League games in the middle and losing them as well, it just crushes the morale of the entire team itself. So I think personally we dodged a bullet at that point because I don't think United were placed quite well to actually handle Champions League football. And I think even we discussed it a lot of times as well, that even if we do win, we don't even expect United to make it through the group stage.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be kicked out. What's the point of being in there?
Well, look
other than just, from a financial standpoint.
Look at the teams who are in it, who don't necessarily have the funds to do what Arsenal and City have that giant squad with quality. Newcastle seem to always have injuries. And are always like they're struggling with the league form to keep up with it. I mean, Anthony Gordon's just gone down with another hamstring injury as well against Man City recently. Tottenham struggling. I mean, they're doing well in the Champions League, but then look at the league form; they're right near the bottom.
It's completely,
So that goes to show, really, there's pure evidence there on a football basis that it's hard to manage if you don't have the proper squad for it. And even if we would have invested in a couple of more players, for me, it still probably wouldn't have been enough.
Exactly.
With AFCON and everything that was involved in that. So, yeah, it's interesting. Why do you think, Sam, we've struggled against them in recent history, Tottenham in particular?
It seems like what Shreyas touched on, we just seem to have these teams where we don't seem to do well. Like, no matter who the manager is or where we're playing or what competition, we just seem to have these teams. And obviously Bournemouth were one of those, but we got that off our back just about this season. No, not Bournemouth, sorry, Brighton. We got Brighton off our back just about this season. Obviously, we drew with Bournemouth, which was another result where you're like, why can't we beat these guys? Like, it just seems to be a weird one. Palace is another one. So yeah, we just seem to have like weird things, and like I mentioned at the top of the show, like it just seems to be when we do play them, it's a weird game. It's never a simple game. Like it's always something that's going on. Like the midfield got tore up, and like I spoke about by Maddison and Sarr. Like remember when we played Mason Mount, Bruno, and Cass in the midfield, and then Mount and Bruno would just fuck off up top and just leave Casemiro to cover, and then Maddison was like, "Oh, cool, I could just pass it through there." And just they ended up sort of like pegging us back. And then the Forrester and Bayindir thing, it's just two goalies making mistakes and just thinking out a thing. And then the European final where we were both fucking awful, but it was just basically a battle of who could be worse. And they snatched a goal. And
then you got the 2-2 this season as well.
The 2-2 this season where we threw that away. Like we were in control and we were doing well. And then we come out the second half and we just took that away. Very similar to Nottingham Forest. We're in control first half, 2 goals, came out second half. Within 10 seconds, I think Forest, we threw it away. Morgan Gibbs White scores. So it's just, it seems to be a weird thing. So if we can get that off our back, we can like, all right, cool. Here's the new standard. We beat them, comfortable win, as we should be doing because their league form is terrible and where they are in the league. We should be doing that. But you just never know. Like, you really don't.
Just the last thing on Spurs, Shreyas, if we're to focus on individuals, one player who I think from having watched in the past couple of games is starting to grow into the league a little bit is Xavi Simons. Now, at the start, people were having him. Exact same thing with Florian Wirtz, right? It's taken them probably 6 months to get used to the tempo of the league, and they're starting to play or starting to fit in or look how they did for the previous clubs. Do you think we judge players too quickly in the Premier League?
I think we judge them too quickly for sure, but at the same time, I think it is this sort of narrative that I don't know since when it is going on, but it just seems like players have a really small window of actually proving themselves. And if it doesn't happen within that window, either they're supposed to be shipped off next season itself, or they're supposed to be the scapegoat of the media every single week when your club isn't performing well. And I think with Xavi Simons, the thing is, what has made life difficult for him now is that Thomas Frank doesn't know what his best position is in that Spurs team, whether it's as a 10, whether it's as a left winger or from the right hand side or a false 9. He's tried basically everything to settle him into that team, and he's definitely been doing a lot better in the past few games. I think he's grown into the he's adapted to the league a bit, but I think what Spurs fans are more irritated about is the output, because one of the biggest reasons they did sign Xavi Simons was to actually get more output out of that midfield, and I think he's only got like 2 goals and 5 assists in like 30 games this season. So that is nowhere near, I would say, to what they were expecting, because Kulusevski gives you a better number. I think Maddison has been able to, when it comes to just output, has been able to give you a better number. So overall, I think the expectation that was placed on him was a bit too much for someone who's just come into the Premier League. He's still quite young. No doubt that he's talented. I think he's a very talented player.
It's his own fault for joining Spurs. I have no sympathy for anyone joining Spurs. You know what you're getting with it. Same thing. Conor Galloway's like, I'm sure it'll turn around soon, and no, mate, you're at Spurs. Like, this is what happens at Spurs. You know what I mean? If we're talking about individual players, Sam, who are the ones to watch for you? One from United, one from Tottenham.
Mateus Cunha. I think he is, as we've said, that maverick. Even when I know you had some issues with him during the games and stuff, with touches and things like his decision making, but he seems to be a lightning rod for a goal at some point. Like he just seems to cause things, and he'll pull a goal from somewhere. So I think he needs to be on the watch, and especially I think depending on who they've got in defence, if they have a makeshift defence, if Van and Romero start or they're on the bench or whatever, he could definitely be somebody where he could cause some chaos and get at them. So yeah, I think you definitely got to look at him. For Spurs, it's difficult because I don't know who's going to play. Solanke looked on it when he played against City.
And that goal as well.
The scorpion kick, Like I think he looked on it. So I don't know. He seems to suffer a lot of injuries. Like I do feel sorry for him because he seems when he's on it, he's a very good striker.
Yeah, he's a good player,
but he just can't stay fit. So I would say Solanke, but yeah, you mentioned Xavi Simons. He seems to have started to
on the
motor
eye.
a little bit.
It looks like
yeah, he's
exactly.
starting to get there.
Yeah.
So he's definitely got to be watched and make sure. I don't, depending on what side he plays on, like Shaw or Dallo, I've got to be like keep an eye on him and make sure he doesn't sort of get in behind him or sort of turn on them or something like that. So yeah, they'd be the two I'd go for.
Yeah, Dave makes a great point in the chat saying Gallagher looked good in the second half, and Solanke being back will be a big boost. He scored goals against us in recent years, even for Bournemouth.
He did,
as well,
yeah.
and multiple times I remember him scoring. For you, Shreyas, who are you going with? Ones to watch
for us, Bruno. I think he gets number 13.
That's a cheat answer, that though, isn't it?
Yeah,
this is a cheat answer, Bruno.
And especially with the formation that Spurs are playing right now, I expect Bruno to have a lot more freedom when we are moving the ball forward. I think Ahmad could be someone to look at as well, considering they've got, I would say, I think Archie Gray playing as a fullback in some of those games as well.
It's weird because they've had players playing they had Palhinha playing at centre back the other day.
Yeah. So off that side, if you get Ahmad to actually move in, I think he can cause a lot of issues on that side.
Do you know what I will say though, Shreyas? Sorry, to quickly think here. Jed Spence might be his touch and go. Who, if he plays, he is someone who can deal with quick fullbacks.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad that like Destiny Dog is injured, right? Or is he back?
No, I think he's back now as well.
Right,
I think he's back.
He's dangerous. Yeah. He's a dangerous player.
Yeah.
But I think Ahmad is due a goal. I think he's been very close in the past few games to scoring. Has been
early
brilliant.
Opportunity in the last game,
I think he's been brilliant in the past 3 games since Carrick has come in. I think absolutely phenomenal. But I think he's due a goal, and I think he gets that against Spurs. From Spurs' side, I think Solanke is definitely someone you can look at. And besides that, either of Romero or Van de Ven, because if I look top scorers for them, Romero, Van de Ven, and Solanke are the ones who scored the most. Yeah.
Not to remind anybody, do you remember when Van de Ven took it from his own box and ran through us? Do you remember that? Yeah. Fucking hell. Yeah. That was horrifying.
I've gone the same with Tottenham. I've gone Van de Ven because the centre backs are the best players. Simple as that. For me, both for him and Romero, decent players. And then
both
United
of them are good, but only on the offensive part now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'm worried. They're ones to watch in the box and around. They're the ones who will probably score. For United, based off form, lads, I'm going Casemiro, mate. Like an assist and a goal in his last game. I think there's going to be a few set pieces in this that will probably decide it. So I'll go with Casemiro. Right. As for predicted 11s, one change between both teams. Me and Shreyas. I've gone for the same team. Sam has one difference, which you kind of touched on before. We expect the same one. Any reason why Shreyas no one else will come in, or just
I just think this team has been performing quite well. And from Carrick's time at Middlesbrough as well, he never changes a winning team. He sticks to what is working. And I think all of these players have, pretty much deserving of their positions. I think Dallo has come up strong. I think Maguire has definitely come in really strong. I know he gave a penalty in the last game, but still, I think him and Martinez are my go-to centre-back options right now. And I don't think Euro or Heaven come close to them right now as a partnership. Lemons picks himself, Shaw picks himself, Casemiro and Menu have been incredible, Bruno's been incredible, and I think Ahmad I think that right wing position is Ahmad's right now. I just think he's been incredible the past few games, and I was skeptical of seeing Mbumo as a number 9, but I think he just causes a lot of disruption whenever he's moving with the ball forward, because I think it helps out Bruno a bit, because he knows that, whenever he's going to play the ball through, he's got someone like Mbumo who's got the eye of making those sort of runs in behind as well. So I'll go with the same team. And considering, Romero is back and Van de Ven might be back as well, I would want someone like Mbumo actually starting the game rather than Sesko, because I think Sesko struggles in, against these sort of centre-backs. I think he sort of struggles with these sort of profiles. I think someone like Mbumo being in there actually helps you a lot more in this sort of a fixture.
Yeah, I think he scored, if I'm right, as well in the last game that we played. And Boomer, I'm pretty sure he got one of the goals. And Delict got the second one. As well.
Yeah.
Sam, you've gone with Benjamin Sesko, and the argument can be made that, listen, like, Shreyas is right in what he was saying in terms of more rhythm and control, but Sesko, you think about the Burnley goal, Bruno Fernandes assist, you think about the one that he just got recently, Bruno Fernandes assist again. So it's not a bad option to have, is it, going with Sesko up top?
No, like, I think he could well go with the team you and Shreyas said. Like, it would not surprise me. Like, if they did that, I'd be like, yeah, cool. I'd be all right with it because, like you said, why change a winning team? Yeah. Like, it makes sense. But yeah, I think Sesko, the confidence, like the sort of the joy and the sort of relief I saw on his face when he scored, like he just looked fucking like he was proper up for it. And I'm like, why not keep that going? Like, let's keep that run going and put him in the team. And like Shreyas touched on before, like Ahmad has been good, but he's not been scoring. Cunha's been scoring, Sesko's been scoring, Bruno's got assists out of his ass, and Bumo's been scoring. So let's get all the goals you can on the pitch. Let's put them away as early as we can, and then maybe you can sort of rest a Bruno and in Bumo, a Cunha, and bring on a Shea Lacey, for example, somebody like that, and give them an opportunity would be nice. But yeah, I could well see the team that you're talking about happening as well. So either way, I'm happy.
100%. Z Gold asking how many Spurs players get into United's team. Just Van der Ven, in my opinion. Listen, we've got quick fires here that are going on the screen, which one of the questions will answer that shortly. Will both teams score, lads?
Yep.
No.
Interesting. More chance Tottenham getting relegated or United getting Champions League football?
United getting Champions League.
Will Thomas Frank get sacked before the end of the season?
Yes.
Yes.
What's our best chance of scoring in this specific game?
Probably a set piece, isn't it?
14 scored, is it, this season? I think.
Like we're only second to Arsenal, aren't we? Like Arsenal. So.
And Z Gold comments, because great minds think alike. He just asked there, who gets into the combined 11? And very quickly, if we can.
Le Mans over Vicario,
for sure. Porro or Dallo?
Who would you say? Sorry.
Porro.
I'd pick
Porro. Yeah, Porro over Dallo.
Yeah, it's as who's playing though. That at the minute, it's more Masraoui only just come back on it. To be fair,
yeah, I put Porro over Dallo. I would say.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that. Centre backs,
Licha and Van der Ven.
I'd stick with Maguire.
Oh, it's tough, that, isn't it? I think Romero and Van der Ven. The United fans are gonna kill me for saying that. I do think they're better players. In my opinion, both of them.
That's fine. It's your opinion, isn't it? It's your opinion.
I know. I feel bad because it's a United channel, but I do think, like, if they was to go to another team, I think they would perform. But I just think Tottenham's a shithole.
Yeah.
So, left back.
Destiny Doggy over Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. I'd go Shaw at left back. Midfield.
Casemiro
and Menu.
Yeah, you're not having any of their midfielders, are they? They're all fucking 6 out of 10s, mate. As we get into the attack, any of Tottenham's attackers in there?
No, I'd have our attack.
Simmons, Solanke, anyone?
No, it's like Simmons don't get over our left-hand side like Cunha or anybody like that, or Ahmad or something, so no.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think that's probably fair when it comes to the attack. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, we've got to the ultimate score predictions graphic on the screen, and we'll explain why. And people are going to kill me.
He's making his appearance. There we go.
Yeah.
There it is.
Moche, let us know your score prediction whenever you can,
fucking
mate.
show.
Right. So I have gone 2-2. Shreyas,
Nick, can you honestly, do you have any other score in your head besides 2-2? Every week.
I will validate it. I'll validate it, right? Let me just. Shreyas has gone 3-1 and Sam has gone 2-0, right? And the reason why I have gone 2-2, one, because the past couple of games, they have ended up in a very, very similar scoreline. You look at the past couple of games that we've had as well, we've conceded a couple of goals. Fulham scored 2. Arsenal scored 2 as well. And I don't know. I said this to you. You remember on a show, Sam, a couple of weeks ago. This game would be the banana skin.
I did.
And I don't want it to be. It is a gut instinct. I'm sorry, people, but that is just how I feel. So you have to deal with it. 2-2. This game is going to be. Why 3-1, Shreyas?
I just think Spurs are not at all comfortable at the moment. Players coming in, players coming out, players not playing in their preferred positions, and at the same time, they struggle a lot in when it comes to creating chances. I think right now United is in probably the best rhythm possible, and I think that last game, the way we won it, I think it has boosted the confidence of the players a lot, because I think a lot of I think if it was under Amorim, we probably would have drawn or lost that game instead of getting that result and getting the 3 points. But I just think right now we've got too much for Spurs to handle, and with the sort of form our midfield is in, Casemiro there, Menu there, and Bruno there, I don't see Romero and Van de Ven stopping it.
Okay, interesting. I think he's had enough as well. He's just like, yeah, seen a bit.
Oh, he's back. Nope.
No,
There,
I think he's
there he is.
There we go.
Yeah, I just think we concede from a stupid set piece or something, because maintaining clean sheets is very difficult for us. I see them getting a goal, but I think United will end up winning it.
Okay, Sam, you gone bold, 2-0, clean sheet.
Yeah. I was looking at stats. So we've scored 9 goals more than they have. We've got 3 more assists. Goals per game, we outscored them 1.8 to 1.5. Shots on target per game, 5.6 to 4. Big chances per game, 3 to 1.8. So yeah, I just think we'll outscore them, and then we'll keep a clean sheet, hopefully. But yeah, I think it'll be. I don't think it'll be as comfortable as 2-0 sounds. I think there will be adversity, but yeah, I do think we'll get the win.
All right, let us know your thoughts, guys. Score predictions. 97% of you have gone with the United win. Love to see the optimism. Yeah, score predictions, predicted lineups, all that stuff. Tiger UK is going 3-1. United, Z Gold's going 4-1. I really seem like a negative bastard, don't I, with mine? But
where's who was the guy that used to be in the chat and he used to predict United would win 3-1 every week?
Yeah, Shah Sam?
Was it Shah Sam? Every week he predicts us to score 3 goals and win, and it just didn't happen for so long.
Well, I'll take a 3-1, 4-1. It's just a win. Yeah, we're pushing for those Champions
3
League
points.
positions, so.
That's all I care about. 3 points. Get us 3 points, and I'm happy.
That would be nice. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys. Leave a like on the video for us. Subscribe to the channel. Drop us a follow on socials. And for any merchandise that we've just dropped, the link is in the description. So please do go check that out. Caps, mugs, and hoodies available all on the website. Appreciate you all, and we'll see you in the next one. See you in a bit.